Tokyo surely has a lot to offer. No doubt, it is one of the favorite destinations for the travel beasts out there. But that does not necessarily mean that it's completely safe or that you can visit any place that you want. There are places where you have to think twice before going. And probably you're here listening to this video, so you must be visiting Tokyo soon. So go ahead and keep your eyes fixed and mind open so that you don't miss any important details. So grab your notepad and let's dive in. Robot Restaurant. You might have heard about this famous robot restaurant based in Shinjuku. It might sound exciting, but it's more of a tourist trap than an authentic cultural experience. I mean, it is a fun place to be and experience, but it comes with a lot of cons too. Robot Restaurant became well known by taking advantage of Japan's love of the strange and unexpected. They love to experience unique and new things now and then. As a result, it's quite entertaining but also very tacky and expensive. You can tell when you're in a tourist trap when the majority of the people there are tourists, and that's exactly what you'll find here, along with an outrageous dinner bento. So even if you are planning to go there and experience it, keep in mind that it's going to cost you a lot. And then, it's not only about the money, but AI is something you can experience in your own country also. But when you visit some other place, it is good if you indulge in their culture and colors. You can opt for traditional theaters, tea ceremonies, or art galleries to delve deeper into Japanese culture. Kabukicho District. You must have heard about this place if you searched about famous places in Tokyo. You would never think that Tokyo, Japan's internationally acknowledged capital, would have any regions to avoid. However, the uncomfortable truth is that there are places in Tokyo to avoid. Kabukicho in Tokyo is not just the world's largest red light district, but also the largest in Japan. There are numerous restaurants, karaoke bars, and clubs in this region. People love the vibe this place has, but in any event, it's also home to a diverse spectrum of underworld companies that attract eccentrics and mafia types. The danger of being attacked or robbed is constantly hanging in the air. While some parts are perfectly safe, it's wise to exercise caution, especially if you're not familiar with the area. In addition, host and hostess clubs pose a specific threat. You will undoubtedly find that you have accrued a sizable debt when you depart. As a result, you must be aware of this site if you want to visit Japan. Avoid going here with your boyfriend, spouse, or child, even though the food is excellent. If you're looking for a more relaxed night out, consider exploring other neighborhoods, like Shimokitazawa or Roppongi. Tsukiji Outer Market. While the inner wholesale fish market has moved to Toyosu, the outer market remains a popular tourist spot. However, it has become overcrowded and somewhat commercialized, leading to the inflated prices and a lack of authenticity. With tourists coming from different parts of the world, it becomes a danger to even enter the market. The crowd is quite overwhelming, especially when you're not a fan of crowded places. While tourists are normally not permitted in the inner market, a small portion of the busy industrial sector is reserved daily for guests to watch an auction. For a more genuine food experience, consider exploring local eateries in areas like Yanaka or Goenji. Harajuku's Takeshita Street on weekends. Takeshita-Dori Street in Harajuku is a popular hangout for Japanese teenagers. You may purchase, consume, and experience a vacuous, vivid side of Tokyo's Japanese adolescent culture here. It's known as Harajuku's heart. It's famous for its quirky shops and trendy fashion scene. But on weekends, it becomes overwhelmingly crowded. Navigating the narrow street can be quite a challenge, and you might spend more time in lines than actually exploring. Consider visiting during weekdays. It'll be a whole lot different and a relaxing experience. Most businesses in the area are aware that visitors are the main clientele. Enter the side streets close to Takeshita rather than pushing through the crowds. You can also find the unusual shops and clothes you're looking for at Urahara, a trendy neighborhood. Roppongi. Roppongi is both a beloved and disliked area in Tokyo. Although it is home to some of the world's best restaurants and the Japanese headquarters of worldwide firms such as Google, Credit Suisse, and Goldman Sachs, it also has a shady reputation due to the prevalence of hostess bars, strip clubs, and nightclubs. In the afternoon, Roppongi is reasonably secure, but if you choose to visit at night, you must exercise caution. Evenings are where touts are active and will pester you into following them. In contrast, if you follow a tout in Roppongi, you run the risk of being robbed, assaulted, or even kidnapped. Even years ago, the US Embassy issued a travel advisory for Roppongi. Surprisingly, despite the neighborhood's proximity to popular tourist destinations like Roppongi Hills, locals don't seem to steer clear of it. During the day, the streets of Roppongi have a very modern, global feel to them. Walking between the sites isn't challenging, but given that there are fewer pedestrian crossings here than in other sections of Tokyo, you risk having to turn around if you cross too soon. Despite this, because it is a neighborhood with vibrant nightlife, we do advise you to use all the usual caution when you're outside, especially if you're alone. Tokyo Skytree. The Tokyo Skytree is an iconic landmark that stands tall in the heart of Tokyo, Japan. It's renowned for its breathtaking views of the cityscape and its role as a symbol of modern Tokyo's technological and architectural prowess. But as cool and enchanting as it looks, there are cons to it too. It can get incredibly crowded, especially during peak tourist seasons. Long lines to purchase tickets and access the observation decks can be a deterrent for those who prefer a more relaxed and less crowded experience. Also, the cost of visiting the Tokyo Skytree can be relatively high, especially if you want to access both the Tembo deck and the Tembo Galleria. Some travelers might find that the expense doesn't align with their budget, especially considering that there are other free and more budget-friendly viewpoints in the city. Golden Gai. Golden Gai is famous for its narrow alleys and tiny bars, each accommodating only a handful of patrons. While this adds to the area's charm, it also means that spaces can become very crowded, especially during peak times. If you're uncomfortable in tight spaces or prefer a more relaxed atmosphere, the close quarters of Golden Gai might not be ideal. Also, many of the bars in Golden Gai are small and locally run, which can lead to limited English language support. If you're not confident in your Japanese language skills or prefer places with English-speaking staff, you might find it challenging to communicate or fully enjoy the experience. Since then, it has become increasingly popular with tourists. Some travelers might feel that the area has lost some of its original local characteristics due to the influx of visitors. Ryogoku Kokugikan. Ryogoku Kokugikan in Tokyo is a famous and historic sumo wrestling arena. Ryogoku Kokugikan is primarily known as the venue for sumo wrestling tournaments. However, these tournaments are held only a few times a year, and the schedule might not align with your travel dates. If you're specifically visiting Tokyo to watch a sumo tournament and your trip doesn't coincide with the tournament dates, you might be disappointed. Also, sumo wrestling is a traditional and culturally significant sport in Japan, but it might not appeal to every traveler. If you're not particularly interested in sports or sumo wrestling, spending several hours at the arena might not be the best use of your time in Tokyo. Nakamise-Dori. Wherever you go on a trip, it's a must to buy some souvenirs for your loved ones. It's become a ritual, right? Nakamisedori is a popular and historic shopping street leading to the Sensoji Temple in Tokyo. But there are a few reasons why you should avoid buying souvenirs from there. The prices of souvenirs and goods sold there can be relatively high due to the high foot traffic and demand. Due to its popularity, Nakamisedori has become quite commercialized. Some travelers might feel that the atmosphere is more geared toward tourists than offering an authentic shopping experience. If you're looking for a more genuine encounter with local culture and products, you might prefer exploring smaller local markets. Tokyo is a city full of wonders, so by avoiding these potential pitfalls, you'll be better equipped to experience its true beauty. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up.